Hey, what's up, guys? Somebody here. It's another week and it's another episode. The Springboks, yay. The Proteas, yay. Bafana Bafana. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
So let me tell you how the last couple of days went for me. I mean, this past weekend we saw the Springboks fight determined against France, the hosts. The Box Sevens women's, they qualified for the Olympics. And then Proteas, they did the business against Australia, thrashing them. They were also in action today against Netherlands. And then Friday came. I mean, guys, if there's one national team that does not fail to disappoint, it's Bafana Bafana. They played against Eswatini. They failed to beat Eswatini. Not Morocco, not Egypt, Eswatini. This team knows how to ruin a mood, man. It really does, because when I watched that game, I was so worried about that team. I was worried because, since the Morocco game, when Morocco came here and we beat them, there's no hunger, there's no passion from the players as well. It's just not there. And they look relaxed. They look like they are going to AFCON, which they are. No doubt they are. You guys worked hard for it, and luckily for you, Zimbabwe was disqualified. But they don't have that passion anymore. It's just not there in the way that they're playing. And I don't blame Hugo Broos for that performance. I really don't. I actually blame the players for me. I mean, what sort of motivation do you need to play against Eswatini, guys? I mean, that was the moment to score goals. That was the moment to get assists. That was the moment to say, hey, fans, come and watch us. And I'm sitting there watching the screen, and I'm thinking, you want us to come to the stadium and you play like that? This national team's not serious, man. That's not. And you know what? I can't wait for tonight's game. The game against Ivory Coast. It's going to be a big one. It's away. So this time they have to pull up their socks, or else I think Ivory Coast is going to smash them. And for the players, give us something, guys. I'm not always just going to rely on the coach to sort of motivate me and put me in a great place. And of course, there's rumors that they're not getting paid, and that's fine. If you're not getting paid and you're on a strike, then strike. But if you're not going to strike and show up, then play. So give us something. That's all I just want, because what you gave us against Eswatini was totally pathetic. 8 clubs in the PSL, over 300 games, trophies galore. Michael Morton is in the house. I asked him about Bafana Bafana. I asked him about the DSTV Premiership. And I asked him, what's going on at Cape Town Spurs?
Another guest on Playing the Field with Shakes. This is a big guest. It's a guest that I do respect and do appreciate for what he's done in the game. I want you to listen to the CV before I start going. Orlando Pirates, Bidvest Vets, Maritzburg United, SuperSport United. It's still a while to go. Amazulu, Cape United, Cape Town All Spurs, and currently with Cape Town Spurs. He's a content creator as well. Michael Morton, welcome to Playing the Field with Shakes.
Well, thanks for having me, Shakes. Thanks for the intro.
And no, amazing, man. You fully deserve it for what you've given to the game. I've got so much to ask, but I want to first start off with, I listed all those clubs, and the first thing I think about is the longevity, man. How have you been able to do it? We don't see a lot of players being able to hold a career down that long.
A lot of it's luck, I think. I've been very fortunate with injuries. I think it's a combination of luck, but at the same time, I put in a lot of hard work with nutrition and gym and all that sort of stuff. And I'm in the gym every day. And I was thinking about it the other day. I touch wood. I've never had a muscular injury in 15 years. So I don't know if that's down to genetics or just gym work and doing all that sort of stuff. I've been very lucky without sort of major injuries.
Before I go into the football of it, right? You've got a social media account that's pretty active. You're putting out content that's out there. And I think it's a very great move in terms of having to be able to connect with friends, having to be able to talk to people like us as well. And also hearing your perspective on nicknames, perhaps, that you've done before. Why isn't it that South African footballers don't do this usually? And I ask it because Tony Kroos has got an active social media account. Jude Bellingham has an active social media account. Erling Haaland has an active social media account. Why are we not having South African footballers going, like at least being active, I guess, on social media in some kind of way.
Yeah, I think it's about doing it the right way as well. I think we've come across a lot of guys who've done it the wrong way, maybe, or said that, and then it's like cancel culture is massive at the moment. Like you say the wrong thing, and next thing you're outcast. So it's about doing it the right way, saying the right things, especially when you're playing. It's difficult. I think a lot of the clubs are a little bit resistant to you sort of pushing your personal brand and maybe stepping outside of the sort of they don't want you speaking too much about what's happening internally at the club and everything. So it can be a bit touchy. But I've reached a point in my career where I think I'm mature enough to sort of understand where I can go, where I can't go. But I understand why some players prefer not to sort of delve in that direction, because I think, yeah, you can get into a bit of trouble, especially if you don't know how to handle yourself and you don't know what sort of off limits.
Yeah, no, I ask it only purely because of I've been able to see people like, for example, Lucas Radebe, who's been able to have a social media account, and he's able to sort of like his career sort of lasts a little bit longer than what it should be. You know, Taco Maurices as well is also be able to do that too. So I see the importance of like social media even after playing, where like maybe what the content that you're doing, I mean, you never know what if a brand might just come and say, hey, Michael Morton, now that you've done playing, maybe you can start doing stuff like this for us, you know? So that's why I was asking that question.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's other like aspects as well. When I'm looking at brands now, I mean, I was sponsored by Adidas for almost 15 years while I was playing. And the thing is, like, these brands are no longer looking at like, are you the best footballer anymore? They're looking at like how many people are following you, how many people are liking your posts, how many people, like, if you actually want to get these brands to jump on board with you, it's no longer about like, yeah, they want to obviously sign good footballers. But if you have 1 million followers and you're not playing football, you might actually be selling more boots. You might be selling more products. So these brands are looking for people that have impressions, maybe not necessarily on the field, but off the field as well.
No, I agree with that. I definitely do. Now, when to jump into the football, I gotta ask you, did you watch Bafana Bafana against S3EP11? Because I found it disappointing, man. And I just wanted to make, what do you think of the national team, our AFCON group, you know?
Yeah, to be honest, I looked for the game. Like I looked on SABC and I looked on SuperSport. I don't know where to find the game. I don't. Is that like, did I miss it, or I mean, I was
Yeah, no,
looking at 6 o'clock. Like, where do I watch the game?
it was actually on SABC's website, so you had to watch it there. SABC Live or something
Man,
like that. That's another thing as well. It's not accessible to fans too.
how are broadcasters not? Yeah, I don't know, man. How they're not getting hold of that game? I don't understand. It's like everyone complains about how no one watches Bafana, but you're not exactly making it that accessible to the masses.
Yeah, yeah. And the
I don't know
national
if
team.
they're trying to like force people into the stadiums by not making it available on TV. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's there's a huge disappointment whenever I think about that. And even the time that they tell you like an hour or before the kickoff that, oh, hey, you're gonna have to watch the game here and not there. So there's quite that disjointedness. But the national team as itself and how it's playing, it just qualified for AFCON. We found out our group as well. What do you think? Where's our national team at, according to you, man?
Man, I like the way it's looking, to be honest. I like his approach. I mean, he's blunt. He says things the way that they are. And I think we've needed that. He doesn't jump around the topics.
Yeah.
He's very open and honest about the way he thinks. And I think South Africa did that. And I think we've got a lot of nice young talents that are really coming into form leading into this tournament. We've obviously got Lyle banging some goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Couple of other exciting guys. I mean, obviously all the Sundowns boys are on fire. So yeah, man, Pirates guys as well coming into the fray now. For me, it looks good, man. And we've obviously have a win loss. We haven't lost a game in almost over a year.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're definitely right. We haven't lost a game in over a year, and I also like the approach that Hugo Broos has come in with. But obviously, our AFCON group has been like our fate has been revealed: Tunisia, Mali, and as well as Namibia. I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you think we can get out of that group? I actually thought we were fortunate to avoid a lot of big hitters.
Yeah, I looked at the other groups and I'm thinking to myself, there's maybe one other group that looked friendly, sort of friendly. I think our group doesn't look too bad, to be honest. It's all gonna. I think it's gonna hinge on that Mali game. The first. I think we play them first as well.
Yeah.
So I think a lot is going to hinge on that game, because I think past Namibia. But if we put ourselves in a decent position, then in that Mali game, we win that game, then you're going into Tunisia game probably needing a draw just to finish second, or I mean, you could even get a best finish, third finisher, and then you get through to the next round. But yeah, man, I can see us coming out of that group for sure.
Look, I mean, even me, I do think that there's a lot of good things. Of course, we'll have to see what they do against Ivory Coast. And also the fact that you're here, I've been meaning to ask this question, man, because I've heard it from, like, we have public people say this and journalists say that. Sundowns' dominance, man. I mean, how did it come about? I mean, for you, and do you sort of see anybody being able to catch Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of the way that they're dominating with regards to South African football as well?
And that's they're a beast at the moment. They're not just they just make the right signings. They obviously, I mean, they have a lot of money. That's no secret to anyone. But with that money, they do the right things as well. I mean, as you've seen in Europe, I mean, there's a lot of clubs with a lot of money, but they don't necessarily do the right things. They bring in the right talent. I mean, if I look at like just the signings they've made over the last 2-3 years, and I mean, they got the academy coming right as well. I mean, they're producing incredible players as well. It's not like they're just going out and buying all the best players. They produce a fortune of good players as well.
Do you sometimes feel as though, like, we have too many changes within South Africa, except for Mamelodi Sundowns, for example, that have been able to do a plan and consistently stick to it for like 10 years? Do you feel that maybe other clubs do make a mistake by having too many changes, per se?
I think it's been proven in world football. I mean, I understand having to make a change where things are really bad, and I think you can see when the writing's on the wall where some situations are not working, you have to make a change. But for the most part, where clubs have stuck by a certain manager where they can see that the guys are doing the right thing, they might not be getting the right results, but if they can see that the process is right and you trust that process and you really buy into it, then if you do that for 3-4 years, look, you might not go out and win the league, but I think you put you definitely make things easier for yourself. I think having to reset and bring in new coaches, and then that coach wants to revamp his whole squad, and then he doesn't like this player, doesn't like that player. Like, got to give the guy, when a coach comes in, he has a 5-year plan. Like, he's thinking like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to bring in this player. It takes at least 2-3 transfer windows just to overturn a squad. And then you bomb the guy after 6 months, and he hasn't even had a transfer window to change his squad. It's like he just started again from square one. And I just feel like the guys that are doing it, I mean, it's clear to see that the guys that are doing well, the guys that are consistent. But at the same time, I understand in football, you can't keep someone in a job where things are not working.
No, 100%. That's for sure. I know my viewers will ask me this question as to, how did you have Michael Morton on? You didn't ask him about Cape Town Spurs, you know? Why have Cape Town Spurs found it so hard to kick on, man? Yeah. I mean, in your eyes, what would you put it down to?
Yeah, it's so hard to talk about it without sounding like just making excuses, which I don't want to do. We're in a bad place, man. And everything I say will sound like an excuse, but obviously there are some things I can point at that could sort of maybe explain why things have been tough. I mean, I think coming through the playoffs, people underestimate like what that does to your preseason, what it does to your start of the season. I mean, it's by no means the reason that we are doing as badly as we're doing, but the fact that you play playoffs throughout the whole of the off season. I mean, we had like 1 or 2 weeks off, and then had 2 weeks of preseason, and started the league. That's not ideal preparation. If you, I mean, when I think if I was a club boss and I'm going into the playoffs, I mean, you don't even know if you can sign players for the upcoming season until the last minute. So like when you actually decide that you realize you're in the PSL now, like what's available now? Most clubs have already started to sign all their players, and you've just popped up out of the playoffs, and now you got to sort of put a squad together in the space of 2 weeks. It's not easy coming through the playoffs. And then, I think there's also the fact that, I don't know if people want to say it, but there's a massive gulf between the PSL and the NFD. there's not just, I mean, financially, we know it's a whole different ball game in the NFT. So that, yeah, there's a gulf in quality, man. The level in the PSL is, I think, quite a lot higher than the NFT, and
I can see how tough it is for you to even speak about it as well. In terms of your confidence, are you confident that there's a way to probably turn it around? I know Fasili has come in and he's done a really good job at Richards Bay. You guys as a team feel confident that, hey, you know what? It's only still October. We can turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, like the crazy thing is, like I look at in the games, and it's crazy that 8 games in we haven't got a point. When I'm looking at games like the last 3 games, we've been leading 1-0, and playing well, but like it's like a 50-minute performance, and in the PSL you need a 90-minute performance, you need a 100-minute performance. You can't be the better team for 60 minutes. Doesn't cut it. So to be honest, I've been in worse teams in the PSL. I mean, that first season I came up with Amazulu, I thought we were going to really struggle. We started well and we sort of rode the wave as well. But I feel like this team has more ability, but we're just not getting the results. But when I look at the performances, it's not like teams are outplaying us, or that I really feel like we're on the back foot, where in other teams I maybe felt like we were holding on, maybe setting out more defensively because maybe we knew the other teams were better than us.
Yeah,
it's not the feeling I get here. Like I feel like we can compete.
Nah, man, I hear you, and of course I want Cape Town Spurs to sort of do well. I mean, this club like churns out a whole lot of talent over the years, that's for sure. A really great club to have in the top division. These are the quick fire questions for you, Michael Morton. So this is like very quick fire for you. The best professional you've ever played with. That's number 1.
I'd go for Dean Furman.
Dean Furman.
Yeah. No, he's just like I never saw him play badly. Like on his bad days, a 6 out of 10. On his good days, a 10 out of 10. So you never get a bad day's work out of Dean, and just doing work great, and just an incredible sort of vibe around the change room. Great leader. So yeah, I'd say Dean.
Now this is a different question. That was best professional. Second one is the most talented player you've ever played with.
I can name a couple. Some that went on to do big things, and then some that should have but didn't. And the first on the top of my head is probably Zongo. Like, man, I played with that guy, and like the things I saw him do, like honestly, I thought this guy's like one of the best players in the world. But then, I think we know how that story ended. And then Sipho Mbule, when he first came through at Supersport, was scary. Like I thought, oh, youngster, I'll run out and press him a couple of times, and like next thing over my head spinning. I'm like, I won't do that again. He shocked me with his ability the first couple of sessions.
Amazing.
Tibbs, the same story. I think when Tibbs came through at Supersport was when I sort of realized I think it's time for me to go. Oh, I realized that.
I mean, those, they were really talented. I mean, even Tabo have gone on to win the football of the season as well. This is the last one of the quick fire questions. You played for a lot of clubs, as I've mentioned at the start of it. The coach that got the best out of Michael Morton, who's that?
Middendorp probably taught me the most.
Okay.
Ernst probably had the biggest influence on my career. He caught me when I was still raw and a bit all over the show. Had a lot of energy, but maybe not a lot of application. And he sort of honed that into more a tactical mindset. And then I think the most successful time of my career was under Baxter at Supersport. So those 2 coaches probably had the biggest impression on me as how I turned out as a footballer.
The last question that I have actually for this was, could this be your last season, man? I know you touched on it before the season started. Where you at with it now?
Yeah, so I did say this so the last game of last season when we played Tucks in the last game of the league, we were basically playing to win the league, and it didn't end up winning the league, and we had to go to the playoffs. So I went straight into Alexi, the boss, and I said, look, if we don't come through the playoffs here, then I'm going to hang up the boots. Like I can't do another year in the NFT. I'd spent 3 years in the NFT by then, and for various reasons, the NFT is very tough, and I wasn't willing to do another year of that, especially having come so close. So we luckily got through the through the playoffs, and my contract at Spurs was always that if we got promoted another year, so that year kicked in automatically and gave me another year.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the season pans out, but yeah, it's not looking good. Let's just say that.
I
But
see.
I mean, if we pull a rabbit out of the hat here in the last 22 games, who knows?
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. Look, Michael Morton, I just want to say thank you for being my guest, man. I mean, you're always like that guy that was always like, we saw you within the DSTV Premiership for such a long time, playing for numerous clubs as well. The contribution that you've given to South African football is really immense, man. I really want to just say big ups to you on that. And if it happens to be your last season, man, I want you to keep doing the content pieces, bro, because I really do feel like there's life after that, after, I guess, being on the pitch.
Yeah, no, that's definitely in the plans, and I always said I sort of wanted. I kept holding off because I was like, I don't know if I can speak about things while I'm still playing, and I think I just sort of older and a thicker skin where I can sort of handle but you're playing, you can't be talking about this stuff. So I wanted to create content. It's always been something I wanted to do. I'm a fan of South African football. I love football and I love watching. I love talking about it. So it's something I wanted to do. I want to speak to players. I want to do a podcast. There's all sort of things that I have in the pipeline. It's stuff that I was going to hold off on until I finished playing, but I just sort of got to the point now where let's just go ahead with it. There's been good feedback since I started, so we'll keep it rolling.
No, man, keep it going, man. I mean, of course, and you also have like the secret information inside the game as well that we don't know necessarily. So whatever you have planned with regards to that, keep going. And for you do me this favor, man. If you ever need a guest to be on your show or podcast, whatever you have planned, we right here, man.
Yeah, Shaks, this has been a pleasure, man. And if you ever need me again, yeah, man, give me a shout. I'm always open to have a chat, man. I love it.
Now, no, you won't. This will not be the last you hear from me. I do later on in the season would love to chat to you regarding everything. I hope things turn out really much better for Cape Town Spurs. But thank you.
Hopefully, we have a different discussion in 6 months' time.
Hey, man. Hey. Maybe we might get some breaking news right here. That's for sure. So we'll probably speak in 6 months' time, and I look forward to it. I hope everything turns out for the best, man.
Hey, perfect, man. Thank you so much.
Who was up to par and who became our star? But also, who fell short in this game we all love? Let's find out on Moegoe of the Week. The star of the week has to be the Springboks. Like, how could I not say the Springboks? To go to France and knock out the hosts in the way that they did was 1 point. Determination, man. I just loved what I saw. Cheslin Kobe, amazing. I think Betway was right to back them, right? As for the Moegoes, you know them. You know them. I mean, they're playing tonight, 9 p.m. against Ivory Coast. You know them. I don't want to give them any more attention. Absolutely embarrassing. It's time for Bet of the Week. Get ready to win big by placing the right bets on the right games. Before we get into tonight's bet slip, I just want to remind everybody last week's bet slip won. It won. Over 7 times our money back. Let's get into this one. Malta against Ukraine. I've gone with Ukraine straight win. San Marino going up against Denmark. Denmark straight win. France going up against Scotland. France straight win. Venezuela against Chile. I've gone with either Venezuela to win or Chile to win. Mexico against Germany. Over 2.5. Peru against Argentina. Argentina straight win. And I had to win a Premier League game. Man City against Brighton this coming weekend. I've gone with Man City straight win. The odds, 6.67. Guys, I boomed last week, yeah? And I think I'm going to do it again. And if you want to win with me, click on the link below. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. We've come to the end of the show, guys, and the good news is that club football returns this weekend. Tell me something. Who's the best coach in the DSTV Premiership? Put in the comments. I'll answer it later on in the week. And for you that's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
Believe in the Bucks with a risk-free bet, and if they lose, we'll refund you in cash. Betway, official Springbok sponsors.